Bootcamp or traditional degree to become a data engineer or data analyst? That's one of those questions I got today in my DMs, and let me read it to you. So, hi, I follow you and you got some great content. I'm actually trying to become a data engineer and data analyst. I wanted to ask, do you recommend going to school or trying a bootcamp? I would not mind joining your Discord and learn from all you guys in the group. So, first of all, thank you for following me, and I really appreciate that you actually watch all the content. And second of all, if you haven't joined our Discord server yet, I really recommend to join it actually because that's where you get all the access to all those experts and professionals who actually work in the field of data or anything else you can imagine, because we have a variety of people there, like full stack developers, game designers or designers, and then we have journalists, everything you can imagine, right? That's why join our Discord if you haven't. And second of all, I think before we answer the question of school or bootcamp, I would also cover the topic of answering the or like tackling the different titles, because you have like data engineers and data analysts, and I think many people have some kind of misunderstanding of all those job titles, because um there are three different roles actually, like the data scientist, data engineer, and data analyst. And to give you a quick breakdown, like the data scientist is the machine learning engineer who loves math and statistics, and they are the people who actually build like ChatGPT and Midjourney. And then you have the data engineer who actually are software engineers who love data and automation. And then you have data analysts who love to tell stories, and they are experts on SQL, Excel, and yeah, databases. But they all have an intersection. They all use Python and SQL. And that's why some people could have this misunderstanding that maybe the data scientist is all of them, which is possible, but it depends on and in which company you work, because sometimes you join as a data scientist and then you still have to do data engineering and data analyst tasks. And then you have like the big companies where you just have to do the machine learning or data collection part. And that's why this is something you have to think about before you actually also make a bigger decision what you actually want to become. And now let's go over to the question if you should go to school or try a boot camp. Because I think it also is a question which depends on your financial background and your area or your geolocation. Because let's take the school first. If you go to school in the US, you have to pay a lot of money, and before you even start your job, you have a bank account in the red, you know? And then in Germany, you basically get paid to study. And then also you have the Netherlands, where they also pay you a lot of money to study. That's why you also have to consider something like that. And then you have the boot camp, which is super expensive from my point of view, although you don't have to pay everything at all. But from my experience and what I heard is like you have to pay a lot of money. Like I think it goes up to 8 to 10K or something, and the duration is a couple of weeks or months. And I think one thing I should mention here is that it doesn't matter what you do, like if you go to school, go to a boot camp, or even just sit at home in your cave like me and just watch YouTube videos, you have to do the same anyway, because everything requires studying. You have to sit down and process everything regardless. And that's why if you go to a boot camp, it keeps you a little bit more accountable, because you have people who actually force you to do something and you paid for it, so you actually push yourself. But maybe it could end up in something which feels like it's forced. And then you have school, where you actually can learn in your own pace, and it's still practical, but you also have a lot of theory, so you learn a lot of principles which you ask yourself, like, why do I even need that? And boot camps are a little bit more practical, but I haven't met somebody who actually came from a boot camp and told me that was like the biggest game changer or whatever that is, because it all depends on yourself. Because I can tell you the story of two people who I know from boot camps. They attended the same one, and they are on totally different levels after the boot camp, even though they started from zero at the same time. And that's why I'm telling you, it depends on yourself. Because you have to study regardless. And that's why consider your background, your financial background, and where you live before you actually go to school, because you have to learn it by yourself anyway. That's why consider all that and see you in the next episode. Bye.